What is up, guys? Happy New Year. I am back. It's the Sportster Brad Walker. Welcome back to the Walker Report, guys. Hopefully everyone out there is having a good start to their 2021. Again, guys, I will be joined momentarily by my two co-hosts, Adam and Lewis. But let me go ahead, guys, real quick. And there are some updates. If you do see that my screen is tilted this way or this way, my laptop has a crack in it and the screen is tilted in one direction. So I am in the process of getting that fixed. And I do have an update. I will have the green screen up next week. So that will be exciting. So next week it will be up. The background behind me will not be there. Next week it'll be something different. I'm going to fool around with it over the weekend. So that will be awesome. So there's the first update of the year in 2021. But guys, real quick, if you want to get some in the zone sports talk radio gear, head over to squadlocker.com. And then type in the zone sports talk radio to get your gear. I know the holidays are over, guys, but just, hey, if you want something, after the holidays or something like that, you can get your in the zone gear at squadlocker.com. So head on over there when you get the opportunity to do that. Guys, I am also sponsored by creatingzenspaces.com, the local choice in St. Petersburg, Florida, for house cleaning, organization, decluttering, and pet sitting. It's all about finding the peace within you and adding comfort to your life. And remember, guys, Zen Space begins with you. Be kind to yourself and one another. Thank you. My friend Renee actually had me add that on at the end there. She wanted me to change up the way I brought her company in. I want to thank her for her gift, by the way, from her to myself. Let me go ahead, guys, and bring in Adam real quick. What's up, partner?
Hey, Brad.
How's it
How
going?
we doing?
Good, Ben. How are you?
All right.
Going good. Going good. No script tonight, so I
No
didn't
script tonight.
I didn't get a chance to put one together, so we're gonna wing it.
Well, we're gonna lose our winging it privileges.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, this is the one time we can wing it, and that's it.
Right.
How was your New Year? But everything all right?
Pretty good. Yeah, pretty good.
Good. All right.
Oh, I know what's going on here.
Yeah, your 48's got like a reflection, like a brick reflection.
Yeah. Oh, where the heck? What the heck and heck? That's probably the settings here. Let me turn. I see what happened.
That's okay. See, this is good. See, this is the first show of the year, so all the mistakes can be made now, and then
there we go.
Further and further in, we'll get it corrected. Right. But yeah, man, I'm gonna get my green screen thing this week stand. So fool around with it this weekend. So Monday, hopefully my Monday show, I'll have it up and operating. So by Thursday, hopefully I'll have all the kinks worked out of it.
Hey, if you can get it to stay up, that'll be a good start.
Yeah, that's one right there. That's the first step. Getting it to stay upright without falling over will be the next thing. But yeah, okay. Well, wait for Lewis. I don't know if he'll be here in a couple minutes. I'm assuming he'll be here.
Yeah, usually he is, but I don't know. There we go. I don't know what I did wrong. I turned on the StreamYards has their own green screen effect that you can turn on. Okay. And I turned that on the last time I was playing around with it, looking at different stuff. And so it picked up the 48 on my hat and turned it into a brick.
It was like a brick, brick
wall. Brick facade, yeah. I was like, what in the world? Why is my... And I thought maybe it was something you had done. You were messing with things. And
oh, yeah, not yet. Next week. Next week.
For sure.
There might see some weird things, but no, not this week. Yeah, no. There he is.
Yes.
Let's add him in
now. Man of the hour.
Hey, Lewis, how are you?
Hey, Bradley. Adam, how are you?
Lewis, how are we doing tonight?
All right.
How's your 2021 so far?
Well, I guess it could be a little bit better.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah. Well, 2020 ended very rough though.
Gotcha. Sorry to hear about that.
Yeah, same.
Yeah, but we're okay now. But I did receive some bad news earlier this afternoon about a friend that passed away.
Oh, sorry to hear that. Okay.
Yeah. So yeah.
Talk some sports and we'll get your mind off it for a couple hours here.
You got it. I could use it.
I said, I messaged you guys both earlier. Usually I have like topics and stuff, but I've been busy at work for the last like 3 weeks, and I haven't had much time to do anything.
Well, if you think your day was bad, I mean, we actually had a bit of fuse blew, so I almost think I was going to be able to make it tonight.
Oh, wow.
Gotcha. Okay. Gotcha.
Yeah. So you think you had a bad day?
Right.
Yeah, that's actually a good way to look at it. Like, okay, I had a long day at work, but you lost power, so that's even worse. Yeah,
I lost connection. Let's put it that way. My cell phone worked, but nothing else did.
Yeah, that's not good. Well, like I said, guys, I mean, we can start anywhere. I mean, I was going to talk about the United States winning the junior gold medal over Canada.
Yeah,
2-0. That was interesting to see.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
They were the underdog too.
Yeah, they were not expected to even make it to the bronze.
Right.
Well, let me ask you something. Do you believe in miracles?
maybe to a lesser extent in this case.
Yeah. It's not the Soviet Union, but yeah,
right. It's still pretty cool. I mean,
you're not expected to go far. It is a miracle. You got there.
You're right.
Nothing. You made it. You're a miracle.
Yeah, exactly. No, you're right about that. Absolutely.
Sorry about that, guys.
Whoops.
But yes. I mean, it was good to see them win. I know I watched a Canadian hockey fan who was not too happy that his team lost to the United States in the final.
Yeah. So, wait, what was that? What was that on though?
I don't know what.
I couldn't find it. It was probably on NHL Network. So
let me see if I have it here. I'm not sure if I have it here or not. It's in my old place.
So I can't watch it if it was on the NHL Network.
Yeah, I don't subscribe. I can't afford the next tier up to get the NHL Network.
Because I have NBA, MLB, NFL. I don't, and the Golf Channel. Other than that, I don't have.
I have it.
Okay, yeah. Okay.
Lucky. Okay. Yeah, lucky. Spending those big bucks to get it.
I wasn't sure I had this because it's a different setup, a different place, so I wasn't sure.
Yeah.
What they have, but they do have the NHL channel, the NBA, MLB,
I have
the Whack-A-Mole channel, and whatever else.
I have NFL, MLB, and NBA. I don't get of course, I don't get the NHL channel. I'd drop the NBA for the NHL, but you can't pick and choose.
Same here. I mean, again, it was kind of cool to see us win the gold. I think we last 2 or 3 games against Canada in the gold medal game. I think we kind of like that's the biggest rivalry I think in nation hockey now. Is us and Canada. We're the biggest. I mean, the juniors, the men, the wing, all of them. We all hate each other. We hate them. They hate us. That's the way it is.
Yeah, but it's a different kind of hatred. It's not the same bloodlust that it was back in the 80s for the Soviets, though.
True. Yes.
It's a much more, we hate them, but we're not gonna be like. It's not like next week we could be at war with them kind of hatred.
Yeah, we do.
Like it was. That's true.
It's definitely a spirited rivalry. It's a fun rivalry, but it's not an ugly. We could go from shooting pucks to shooting each other in a week's time.
Well, I call it the border war. We think about it. U.S. and you're in Buffalo. What side to choose? Sorry.
Right. Just leave us out of this. That's okay. Buffalo will come crashing through a table, and it'll all be all right.
And don't forget Detroit too. Oops, sorry, Taylor. Oh. I gotta do a show.
I lived like 20 minutes from the border for a couple years. The Windsor border.
Did you need a passport to get out of to leave your house?
No, not quite. I had the enhanced driver's license, so.
Okay.
I didn't need the passport, but I did have the enhanced driver's.
A border guard is right in your house, like border pass on the downstairs and the upstairs.
Okay, I wasn't quite that close.
Oh, that's right. Oh yeah, go right in. Thank you.
I got the cheap drugs, but I still had to pay for my own health care.
Right. Oh, it's you. Oh yeah. Oh, go right in. Sure.
Oh,
it's a good way to start the show right off the bat in 20.
Laughing at our own.
Well, you know me. I'm the wacky one here. So
wacky.
Cool, man. No, that's
right.
all good, man. I mean, see, when you're having a bad day, when you laugh,
right,
it helps with the bad day. Getting it out,
so much better.
Right. Exactly.
I mean, but I know those games run kind of like Well, wait, the games are being played in Europe, right?
I thought they were played in
Canada. They played in Edmonton.
Canada, yeah. Was it Edmonton? I couldn't remember where it was.
I think it was Edmonton that they won. Now they played in Edmonton when the Stanley Cup was handed out, or was that same ice, or was it different arena?
I think it was a different arena.
It might have been. Give me 1 second. If I could remember how to spell junior, that would help.
Junior.
Or just JR, one of the two.
That'll work.
You shot JR.
You can shorten it up and just put JR.
Don't forget, guys, that the NHL starts on Wednesday.
I know. Excited.
It'd be awesome. NHL is back already.
Yeah, it was in Edmonton.
Edmonton? Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. Well,
I could have watched the game. I missed the game. Of course, being on a premium channel that I don't have access to. I was looking for it, and I was like, "Oh."
And then who was in the bronze medal game? Finland and who else?
Finland and somebody. I saw it earlier because I was looking at.
I think it was Russia that was in the bronze medal game. Okay. Russia and Finland, I think, were the two battling it out for bronze.
Right.
Which, again, is, if you think about national hockey, you have, obviously U.S., Canada, Finland, Sweden, and Russia are got to be the top 5 countries in the world with it comes to hockey. I would think
Norway. Well, I would put all the Scandinavian countries in there as a unit.
I mean, you forgot
Norway, Finland, Sweden.
Yeah, Norway and Sweden, the '94 final.
That was a good game.
And it came down to a shootout.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't like shootouts to decide things in a team sport.
I was just gonna ask that question.
You do.
See, I don't like it would be like a pit stop challenge or a field goal kicking contest to decide a champion in a team sport. And to me, that's not fair. How many times have we watched a hockey game where we're in the second or third overtime and a guy like Kurt Malpe or Chris Draper, just because I actually have the classic Wings game on in the background here.
Yes.
And and so I picked those two guys, or an Adam Hall or somebody like that, a guy that's an unsung hero, who gets a chance to make to get a goal in a pivotal moment in a big game. That's why I just don't like the shootout, because it takes away from the team aspect of the game.
So you're asked, 5 overtime game ahead in last year's player.
Absolutely. It's
exhausting.
It's exhausting. It's emotionally and mentally draining, and it's what the cup is all about, or any championship. It shouldn't come down to a skills competition. A team let's say a Washington or Pittsburgh, they have a decided advantage against any team in the league with Crosby and Ovechkin in a pure skills competition. When you play 60 minutes of team sport, and I don't necessarily hate a shootout in the regular season. It's kind of fun. It's a novelty. It's okay. And it gives a chance to have a decisive winner. I don't mind that. But in a winner take all, in a game 7, in the Stanley Cup final, or any championship game for that matter, it shouldn't come down to a kicking contest or a home run derby, or a closest to the pin competition if you're a golf fan. And those are my thoughts on it.
I was going to have the refs took it out at 10 paces, but okay.
Well, I mean, so much in hockey. I think I hate it in soccer. You run up and down the pitch for what 90 minutes, and then it comes down to a goal.
Penalty kicks. Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
I don't like soccer in general. I find it incredibly. I will say, soccer on TV is incredibly boring unless you're watching it with somebody else that actually you can engage with somebody else and get into it. Because I was at the cigar bar a couple of months ago, and they had the soccer game on because the one gentleman won. Nobody else was watching it. Watching TV, they had a movie on, and he's like, "Can I put it on the soccer game?" And everybody's like, "Yeah, sure, go for it." Like there was only like 3 of us in there, so we weren't paying attention to whatever. We were smoking our cigars and just kind of hanging out. And so he put the soccer game on, and we were discussing the game and kind of the nuances and being a hockey
European.
European. It was I don't remember if it was Bundesliga or the English Premier League. I forget which league it was. I want to say it was Bundesliga. I think it was, or ESL. It was definitely European soccer. And so we were discussing the difference in the games between soccer and hockey and how they're similar, but they're different. And
yes,
we were, and it made it more fun, made it more interesting. Whereas watching soccer on its own is incredibly boring.
I see.
And especially when I don't have, and I don't have any base of reference for any of the players or any of the, the rules are really, I don't know them, I don't understand them, and I frankly don't want to because I think soccer is rather uninteresting. Not to say that I don't want, soccer has its place in sport, and, just don't expect me to have any wisdom or knowledge on the game outside of maybe Landon Donovan being probably the greatest American to have ever played the game. Okay, that's my knowledge.
That's true.
No, that's fun. I mean, I only watch soccer during the World Cup and the Olympics. Outside of that, I don't tune into soccer, on the weekends. The Premier League on at like 8:00 in the morning. You can get on I've got, if it's a Saturday during college football season, I'm watching college game day. So
of course.
Or sleeping, waiting for the games to come on.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah, exactly. Well, we can zone in, guys, to college football with the national championship.
Yeah, we can hit college football. I got to ask you, what happened to your Gators? Because they kind of shit the bed pretty hard.
I was actually, I didn't watch the game, and I'll tell you that's the reason why I didn't watch the football game. They weren't going to win that football game. Too many people opted out to go to the NFL. And
okay, yeah, that's fair.
You know what? Kyle Trask, the quarterback, ruined his chance of winning a Heisman or being a high draft pick by throwing 3 picks.
So,
do you think
in
the end he'll benefit from that though? By not getting stuck in Jacksonville or New York or
do you know, buddy, the team he's rumored to go to right now? The Patriots.
New England, huh?
Yuck.
I think Chicago might take. I think Chicago will step up there and snag him.
They need a quarterback because
they definitely need a quarterback. And
but then they're talking about re-signing Trubisky. So you're going to draft a quarterback and re-sign him too?
Controversy sells, man.
No, I know.
I think that they need to, especially if you can get him in late first round or early second round. If he slips that far, and you got a shot to pick him up, if you can get some help somewhere else, we can get into the NFL in a little bit. We can go back to college football.
Right. Yeah.
Oh yeah. No, to get back to your topic, but yeah, the Gators legitimately did shit the bed, against Oklahoma, and
it was embarrassing. I felt bad for you guys, after having been there for the last 5 years in every big game. It's pretty devastating. I understand how you feel.
It's a pretty big letdown because again, we only lost to Alabama by 5 points. We gave Alabama more than they thought they were going to get. Right. So then to go in and play Oklahoma and then just not even show up.
Right. Literally, not even show up.
You
had your 4 best receivers and your tight end all opted out.
Yeah.
And it's brutal.
I did get some good news, though. I interviewed Michael Kelly, who's the AD for USF on Tuesday.
I saw that. I wanted to I haven't watched the interview yet. How'd that go?
It went great. The one question that I get asked, guys, is what is the status on the indoor practice facility and a stadium on campus. So I asked him. I said, legitimately, I said, Mr. Kelly, I said, what can you give me an update? The indoor practice facility is in the cards. They're putting it all together, getting it set. He goes, as far as an on-campus stadium, he said it's going to cost the university $250 million to build a stadium. He said, and that's just not in our cards right now. We're not even thinking about that right now. And I'm like, okay.
That's fair.
As a writer, I get asked that by a lot of people that are trying to follow USF. And I said, they ask me that all the time. So I wanted to get to him and ask him. Now, the good thing of speaking of the Florida Gators, he did confirm that. And again, if we have out-of-conference football games, USF's first home game is against the Florida Gators. So
for sure.
Yeah.
If we get out of
wasn't it? Sort of.
So we'll see. If we get out of conference games. Because within conference, you won't have that.
I think you get out of conference.
I think we'll be, from what I've heard, talking to some people and listening to some things in the NASCAR world of all places, I'm hearing that by midsummer we're going to be getting back to normal as normal can be in the current climate.
Sounds good. I'll take that.
I would think so. I would think, because I was explaining to some other people, some of my callers from my show, like, do you think we'll see like baseball return to fans? Like, yeah, I do, but don't expect it like in April or May. I think towards like mid-season we're gonna start seeing that.
I think June, July, probably.
July. June.
I think by August we'll have concerts back with pretty much full crowds.
Yeah.
That's good. I hope.
I
mean, that would be great for me. I mean, it's going to be hard to go to the USF game. I have both my teams that I cheer for in college football playing together. But I mean, the funny thing is the other guy that I had on my Monday show, I've never been to the Swamp in Gainesville where they play. He goes, we're going to get you there. I'm like, okay.
Give me a ticket, I'm in.
You can start a hashtag. I don't know how far you're going to get it, but that's okay. I mean, then he goes, you might want to wait until COVID is over to when the Swamp is cool. I go, well, that's a long way away, dude, from my standards. A long way away before that's going to happen.
Yeah.
So, yeah. But I mean, we have the national title game. You got Alabama. I know Ohio State's got COVID issues right now.
Mm-hmm.
What did you guys think of the two playoff games?
Well, I hate to use a moron term here, but it was stupendously awful.
Notre Dame didn't deserve to be there, and Clemson didn't show up.
I was expecting that to be a better game. Notre Dame and Alabama, no, that was going to be a blowout. Notre Dame had victory written all over it. I didn't want Notre Dame even showed up, to be honest.
Yeah,
but Clemson had State. I mean, that looked like a battle in the first half, and then I mean, did hell freeze over or something in the second half?
Clemson just didn't show up for the second half. I think that when that linebacker got ejected, it took all the air out of their sails.
I guess so.
And it wasn't a ball game anymore.
Was that a dirty hit? Because it looks like he hit.
Yeah,
he hit him with the shoulder and the ribs.
It was. Okay. I thought
so it was a clean tackle, and he got They were making up for that because supposedly all the Ohio State fans said that last year against Clemson, they had one of their people thrown out for that same reason. That's what I heard. So my brother-in-law's a big Buckeye, so I get to hear it all the time.
My boss is a big Buckeye fan, so he's actually a really cool guy, and I like talking to him. He's not like your prototypical Ohio State fan. He was walking by me before he was headed up to meetings or whatever, and I was like, I can't say it, but I said good luck on Monday. I can't say it, but good luck on Monday. That's fair.
But you said it anyway. Say it here.
Let me look up what's the line in the game right now. Does anybody know?
I don't know. I haven't heard.
Let me look it up real quick. And see
I would say Alabama by 10.
At least. Well,
or you think it's 7?
I'm thinking 10, but I'm not sure.
Let's see what's. I'm going to ESPN.com. Let's see what happened.
Do they have it up?
They should. Let's see. Alabama has an 81. Oh, that's Notre Dame. Okay, that's not what I'm looking at. Okay, hang on a second. Why did it not take me to? Why did it take me all the way back to? Oh, it isn't even up here. How did they not have? That's weird. Why did they not?
Yep.
4 days before the final, it's not there.
Well, I go to the football scoreboard and it takes me back to the 2020 bowl games. I don't know why it's not taking me to the Alabama. Oh, okay, hang on, man. Oh, here we go. I'm sorry, it's right here. It is 8. Alabama's an 8-point favorite.
Okay.
Over and under being 75. Now they're playing in the Hard Rock Stadium in Miami, which is about 4 or 5 hour drive from me.
Right.
That's not far from me.
I don't think you'll see that high scoring, so I'm going to say it's going to be under.
I'm going to take the under, but I'll take Alabama I'll take Alabama and the points.
You'll take Alabama points. Well, how about you, Lewis? What's you guys take?
I'm going to take Alabama. I think it's going to be like I'll take the points 8. Well, I'll go like 9 or 10 points. I don't think you're going to see the high scoring offensive game 75 or over. No, I don't see that.
You take the under. I agree with you. I think I would take
out. That's a bit much. Unless you get like a 7 overtime game, I don't see it.
No, I unless Alabama hangs 50 on them.
Yeah.
Against Ohio State, I don't know. It's not.
I don't think that high. You're to get to 75, you need 40 and 35. I don't think it's going to be.
No.
I think Alabama may score 40. I don't think Ohio State has the firepower, especially with the COVID issues. I just don't see. Yeah. I don't see Alabama. Alabama's just Nick Saban's the best he's the best college football coach in the last 50 years.
Oh, without question.
Yeah, I agree.
I know people don't like him, but
I can't stand the man myself. So
he's in my conference. So how about that?
Yeah.
Conference. Damn it, he's in my conference.
Yeah, I feel you on that.
With that, guys. I'm sorry.
Well, I remember this is, and everybody asks me, when people ask me about Alabama, and I don't hate the university. I don't have anything up, down, or sideways about Alabama, the university. I just hate Nick Saban. See, in 2000, he was with Michigan State, and they had a press conference, and they had I can't remember if they'd won a bowl game or whatever, but he had a press conference. And he was in tears. Oh, these are my boys. I ain't going anywhere. Year and a half later, he's off to LSU.
Right.
2004, they won a national title. 2003, I don't remember which year it was, somewhere in there. And he's these are my boys, and he had tears, and blah blah blah. And next thing you know, he's on to Miami. And about week 10, he's like, "These are my boys. I ain't going anywhere," and they fire him. Yeah. And he goes to Alabama.
Hold on, because I got something to say about another coach that was fired, and because there's one thing. It's one thing you get fired when you're a coach and you can't do jack. I mean, but you're a coach that won all your seasons there, 4 seasons there. You won a bowl game, and you still get fired. And then an hour later, you already got replaced. Now, this is I know it's kind of stupid, but am I the only one here who thinks this is very suspicious?
You can't beat Oklahoma. You got to beat Oklahoma if you're at Texas.
You can't just one opponent. That means you got to get fired after the season you put up with. That's ridiculous.
Well,
doesn't matter. You got to beat Oklahoma.
Look at all the coaches that have not beat Oklahoma and Texas have been fired. Charlie Strong was at Texas before he came to USF, and he couldn't beat Texas, and that's why. He couldn't beat Oklahoma. Excuse me. That's why. And again, when you can't beat your rival team, alumni will get you out of there.
Boosters want you gone.
Yep.
It's the same thing. If you can't, you can lose if you can win national titles. See, the thing about it is that, if Nick Saban was losing to Auburn on a semi-regular basis, he could still survive because he's winning national titles. If you're making the playoffs and you're winning national titles, you can be 3-3 against your rival. Whether it be Ohio State or Michigan or Oklahoma or UCLA. But if you're 1-4 against your rival and you haven't had a sniff of the playoffs and you haven't put together consistently good seasons and winning consistently, you're not going to survive. It doesn't matter what your record is.
You're taking the Alamo Bowl and won that.
The Alamo Bowl is not a national title game. It's not a New York Six Bowl. It's not Texas football.
I get it.
In Texas
bowl game.
In Texas, it goes football,
right,
and then maybe God, and then football, family. That's Texas.
Right.
They eat, sleep, and breathe football in Texas. And if even at 32-18, which is, or actually he would be 30 and 14 outside the Oklahoma games. Anywhere else is a respectable
absolutely
record, except in Arlington, or not Arlington, wherever they are.
Yeah.
Where's the University of Texas? Where is that at? Austin.
Is it? Yeah.
In Austin. It's in Austin.
At Houston, it's a great record. At Houston, and the thing about it is at Houston, he was able to recruit. And this is something I was talking to my dad. We were talking a lot of football over the past 2 weeks when we were both off for the holidays.
Yes.
When at Houston, he was able to recruit B+ players in a C+ division or conference, and he was able to win a lot of games against a lot of mediocre opponents.
Right.
And he goes to Texas, and he can't beat Oklahoma. He can't make the big bowls. I know he was 4-0 in the bowls, but he wasn't making premier bowls. He wasn't. It wasn't the Orange Bowl. It wasn't the Rose Bowl. It wasn't the Sugar Bowl or any of the New Year's Six bowls. He was going to the Alamo Bowl on December 26th. That's not acceptable in Texas.
Nope.
Yeah.
Do I agree with the firing? Absolutely not. I don't. I think it was utter nonsense. I think they made a mistake. Steve Sarkisian can't. He's not going to win. He's not going to beat Oklahoma. He's not going to be able to out recruit Tom Herman.
Oh no! Tom Herman got fired. Well, yeah, true. Yeah, Tom Herman got fired.
I still think you got screwed.
You got Lincoln.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
You got Lincoln Riley, who's had it. And I mean that basically between Texas and Oklahoma and Baylor every once in a while, they've owned the Big 12. I mean, Oklahoma's owned the Big 12 forever. Other than Texas, and you sprinkle Baylor in there every once in a while. TCU. Other than that conference really is. I mean, Kansas, not really. Kansas, not really.
State's not getting up there.
Yeah.
No.
So
Iowa State, Iowa State's had barked, and I think that's another big thing that was a nail in his coffin was the fact that they lost to Iowa State.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that I would have done it. If I was the AD in Texas, I certainly wouldn't have fired him and hired Steve Sarkisian. Sorry. He was miserable as a head coach at SC.
Yeah.
And I forget where else he was the head coach. But he was not good, and I wouldn't have done it. And the problem is that Alabama, Florida, Georgia, and Oklahoma are all going to out-recruit Steve Sarkisian. No one's going. If I'm a top college prospect, and I'm getting offers from Alabama, Georgia, Florida, Texas, Oklahoma, and I'm in Texas, it's going to be hard. Especially if I'm outside of Austin. Like if I'm in the Panhandle and I'm up close to the Oklahoma border, you got a lot of there's a lot of crossover. It's just like the Toledo corridor. There's a lot of Michigan fans that live in Toledo and live on the border. And it's very easy, it's very easy for Michigan to go down there and poach those kids from Ohio State. Or well, it was at one point, but not so much anymore. And so conversely, it's easy for Oklahoma. Lincoln Riley's a great coach. They're a great program. They're winning. They're on New Year's. They're in the title contention every year. And so it's easy for them to poach talent from Texas. And same thing with Alabama and Georgia and Florida, and it's and again it's competing with Alabama and Florida and Oklahoma, and they those places all have nice weather, and it's not like you're going to be going to Michigan or Ohio State in December or late November, where it could be a wind chill of negative. Well, I'm going inside.
Right. Yeah, you get that in October over there,
Mm-hmm.
Really October.
I've never seen snow in person, so I can't.
You ain't missing anything.
No, you're definitely not.
Can't vouch for it. Can't say it. So that's what I've been told that. You're not missing. They said that when it first comes down, it's great. After that, it's miserable.
Yeah. The 2 weeks before Christmas, it's excellent. That Christmas feel. And at about 12:30, 12:35 on Christmas that day, you're like, I'm ready to move to Florida.
Yeah. But the holidays are over. You don't want it.
It snows in the Panhandle here, so
yeah. It snowed in Mobile one year when I was down there. That was crazy.
Yeah.
An appreciable accumulation. Of course, it was gone by 12 o'clock, so that wasn't bad. But
define that.
About 2 inches.
Big deal.
For South Alabama, that was a big deal.
Okay, I'll give you half credit on that, but to us, that's nothing.
Oh no, where I came from, 2.5 inches was a Tuesday. No, I used to live in northern Michigan along the lake, and we got those god awful wind. Those god awful.
To me, 2 inches that's like a bird peeing on your car,
right? Right. And well, for me, 2.5 inches is nothing. It was appreciable snowfall for South Alabama, but for me, where I came from, I was like, and
yeah,
you're not going to work, you're not going to school. What do you mean?
Can't handle 2 inches of snow. What a bunch of whips.
Yeah, right. But
well, I mean, so what is the most that you guys have both been in as far as snow? Like 2 feet? Should we talk feet, not inches? I mean,
I was
78. Where are you?
I think the most I've ever seen in a 24-hour period was 18 inches.
Okay.
And that was winter. That was New Year's 1999.
Okay. Right before the turn of the century. Okay.
Yep.
Really?
Or 98. Yeah, it was actually 98.
Really? Because I was at a bar that night in Morristown, and it was fine. It was like 50 degrees.
Lucky you.
Yeah.
We ended up having to come. This is when I lived in northern Michigan, and me and my parents, we had to turn around and come home. We didn't end up spending New Year's Eve with my grandparents because we were expected to get a huge snowstorm. We had to come home.
Right. In 99 was at a wedding, so.
And then 99 we actually stayed because I remember watching the ball drop with my grandparents on the turn of the century.
Right.
So it's 98.
Weird, yeah. Yeah, 98. I remember I was in a bar in Morristown with a friend of mine, and then the ball dropped in. The first song they played 99 was 1999 by Prince. Go figure.
Yeah.
Of course.
God rest his soul. God rest.
Right.
Right. But
there's the question I have. Would you guys be against playing a major sporting event, so like a Super Bowl or national?
Absolutely not.
In the snow? I mean,
Lambeau should host a Super Bowl at some point. Soldier Field should host a Super Bowl. I mean, if they're gonna play one in New Jersey, why not play one in Green Bay? I mean, it's a I understand. The West Coast team is gonna get their get it pushed in on them probably,
or Florida,
But I just think it would be fun to have a game in Green Bay or a game in Soldier Field.
Yeah, I never understood why they you play in cold weather, once November and December comes in your location, and the playoffs as well. I mean, of course, remember the Ice Bowl back in Green Bay, so I don't know why they had to have these special rules where you had to play in a warm climate to play a Super Bowl because
or an
indoor stadium.
Yeah,
as the case with Minnesota was.
Or Detroit.
Well, Detroit's another planet, so we can't really count them. So
it's just West Canada, that's all.
Right. Yeah. But so I never understood why it has to be like, I
think a lot of it has to do with you've got 40 or 50,000 executives from New York who want to take a vacation, and they don't want a vacation in Green Bay, Wisconsin.
That's true. Hey, want to go to Wisconsin? No, thanks.
Not really.
Well,
I don't even want to go to Wisconsin in August. So I mean,
right.
It really is, because if you look at the Packer home games, they sell out during a normal year.
Right.
So you don't think that people would go to the Super Bowl even though it was snowing and not sit in the stands?
Oh no, it would be. I think. A lot of it, I think, has to do with the fact that you've got a lot of. Well, and the other thing is travel for bringing people in.
Yeah.
If you've got, it's one thing for the conference championship game to be played in Green Bay, which is probably going to be played this year, but we'll get into that later. But when you've got a Super Bowl and you've got 3,500 executives from all over the world and all over the country trying to get into Green Bay, Wisconsin, and you're like, oh, there's going to be a major snowstorm and you could get 14 inches.
And then you've got game and all that, right? I get it.
Right. Or delay the game or move the game.
Yeah.
And I remember, was it last year or year before last, when the Kansas City was expecting an ice storm on Sunday night, and they moved the game up to a 1:00 start instead of having it be the nightcap.
Right, I recall that
because they didn't want to have 40,000, 50,000, 60,000 people trying to brave a winter storm, an ice storm.
Yeah,
was that the Tennessee game?
Was it the Tennessee? It might have been.
It was.
Might have been.
Titans. Yeah. That would have been interesting. Right. That would have been interesting to see Henry run downhill in the ice. That would have been interesting.
That would have been crazy.
Henry's got to be the player of the year. He's got to be the player of the year.
You think he's MVP?
I wouldn't put it past it.
I think he should. I wouldn't hate it. I think he's I think he's the most valuable player on his team. I think Aaron Rodgers is the most valuable player on his team. I would have to. I don't think Patrick Mahomes is necessarily the most valuable player.
Not this year. Not this
year. Compared to the other two. Because I still think if you had a halfway like Wentz or Watson, they would thrive in that offense. Yeah. I don't really think that. I don't think that Patrick Mahomes, like, if you take Derrick Henry off the Titans, they're done. They win 4 games. Oh, yeah. You take Aaron Rodgers out of Green Bay, I think they win 6.
Well,
maybe
Rodgers is going to be gone, I think, after either this year or next year. So might be used to that.
I think he'll play 4 more years. I think he'll play till his 40.
4 more years? I don't know.
He's only 36. I think he'll play 4 more years.
He's only 36. Oops,
yeah,
sorry.
Well,
36. Sorry.
I know. You wish you were 36, right? Yeah, I know, right? I wish I did.
The way that he talks on Pat McAfee, he's gonna play 4 or 5 more years. That's what he says every.
I think
to see those two talk to each other.
I love the Pat McAfee show. I think it's the best sports show going aside from this one.
Thanks.
That's great. I like to hear that.
It's not mine, so where's that rank? Never mind.
Hey, I'm not even getting paid to say that.
Not yet. He's not. See,
the question.
The draw there. He's not getting paid yet. There's the key word in that sentence. Yet.
Right.
Oh boy.
But yeah, I mean, I'm just curious. I mean, I know there's been a Super Bowl in the rain. The Colts and the Bears played in rain.
Yeah.
I know they were all against. Oh, it's going to rain and that's going to ruin the game. It really didn't ruin the game.
It was a pretty good game.
Yeah, all the mud and all that. Well,
yeah.
One thing.
I don't know. I love a good weather game.
Rain is one thing, but when you start dealing with the thunder and the lightning, that's a problem. That's
exactly. Yeah, that's a different. Yeah, that's a
different animal.
Different animal.
Honestly, I really don't think it comes down to the playing conditions. I think it's more the travel conditions and trying to get having. Although they did play a game, but they played games in Detroit and Minnesota. So I mean, why not Green Bay? Why not Chicago?
Yeah.
So I don't know.
It would be kind of cool to play a national title game and or a Super Bowl in the snow.
That would be fun.
Yeah,
that would be fun.
How that would go. Because I mean, the Green Bay game the other night against Chicago at Lambeau Field, that was great to see that snow.
Yeah,
2 teams play each other, so that was awesome.
That was the Titans game.
Yeah, that's right. 2 weeks ago against the Titans. That's right.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Could you imagine a national title game in Michigan Stadium? 110,000 people in there, packed to the gills.
Yeah. You better bring a pair of long johns with you, though. You might need
right?
Well, there's already been a hockey game there. They had the biggest outdoor hockey game.
114,000.
Yes, it's true.
So
we've talked about that game a couple times. It was a good one.
Yep. Well, I mean, now with the NHL starting up, college hockey is what going to be starting back up here.
It's coming back in mid January here.
Yeah.
I think January 8th. I think tomorrow night's Michigan's first game since the Christmas break.
Cool. Good. All right.
I love college hockey.
What they've been doing with the COVID issues, because college basketball is a mess, but how has college hockey been handling it?
College hockey seems to handle it pretty well. Unfortunately, there's not as much media attention around college hockey as there is college basketball. But Michigan seemed to have handled it pretty well.
I mean overall, though. I mean, not just Michigan and the surrounding areas, but I mean like overall, like
I haven't heard anything about it, so they must be well.
I really haven't heard
no numbers or anything. They haven't said, college hockey's games are being canceled. I haven't heard anything.
Right.
Yeah, because college football's had the problem. College, college baseball was wiped out all of last season. So I thought maybe college hockey might be in the same boat, because you gotta worry about the same precautions as the other sports. So I was wondering how college hockey is handling with their situation.
Fairly well, from what I understand. I haven't
getting it,
but college hockey's been on break for the last couple of weeks, so
right.
We'll have to see when they start playing games again.
So they get breaks. Only the other sports they don't. So college hockey does take breaks during the holidays.
Yeah, usually they take a break right around Christmas. Normally there's the GLA, the Great Lakes Invitational, or GLI.
Right.
Or that's usually.
No, I'm thinking of one. It's a more famous one though.
Let me see.
Or wait until February.
I don't remember what's in February now. But they I know they take. I don't know if this is because of COVID or if it's just standard procedure, but they haven't played since before Christmas. Michigan beat Penn State in Penn State before Christmas.
It looks like right here it says Denver, Colorado College Hockey Series postponed due to COVID.
Of course.
They're changing on the fly, is what it says. College hockey teams do it on and off the ice. Let's see if there's anything going on here that it doesn't really give any numbers or anything. It just says that they're making changes on and off the ice. I think that's kind of with everything going on. I mean, I'm sure that just like in college football, you got to go through weekly tests. NFL, you got to go through weekly tests. So I'm sure they got to do it, because that's what Michael Kelly told us on Tuesday. Is the one thing that's been hampering the budget is that COVID testing. They all have to test their players, and now with all the spring sports starting up, soccer, baseball, softball, all of those kids got to go through daily COVID testing. And it costs the university to get everyone tested properly so that we don't have a shutdown like we did last year and stuff like that. So, that's something. But again, I haven't heard anything majorly about college hockey being canceled. So,
good. Michigan Tech was scheduled to have a series against Minnesota State over this coming weekend, and it's been canceled. The university says data privacy procedures precludes further comment on this issue.
Me and my big mouth.
No, it's okay. No, I think it's bound to happen everywhere.
Yeah,
to say that
for at least another couple of months.
Yeah, it's bound to happen that way. I mean,
especially here.
I guess if you think about it, if you catch the player or players and you get them out of there real quick, you can prevent it from getting to the other. But not always guaranteed that, because then it goes down the line of who they came in contact with and so on.
Yep.
Exactly.
I mean, me personally, I have a friend that I haven't seen since Halloween, but she tested positive for it 2 weeks ago, right? Wow. So what is she doing last night? She's at a bar. Yeah, that's why the numbers are back up.
Yeah.
Why the numbers are back up. Just that reason. So that's stupidity at its best right there.
As I've been saying for the past 3 weeks, this is the first disease in human history that's caused by people's own stupidity. And
Yeah.
it is.
It's ignorance.
And that too, ignorance as well, because it's not so much you're sick. You're getting people that could get sick and die from this. Those are the ones that are mostly at risk.
Yep.
And you're putting them at risk because of your stupidity and ignorance towards that. That's what it is, plain and simple.
Yep.
And my niece came down to about before Christmas as well.
Yeah.
But she's okay.
Good. That's a good thing.
She just had symptoms. But, still, I mean, when you're out with a bunch of people at who knows where or whatever event, like I know people want to get in touch with the holidays, and of course I don't blame you, but you gotta be more cautious this time. I mean, am I against people getting together? No, I'm actually not. But there's a right way to do things and a wrong way to do things, and what you're doing is not only wrong but also be dangerous, and it could really do the damage. But I wouldn't go as far as to say what Governor Cuomo is that if you're guilty of attempted murder. No, that's ridiculous. That's over the line. That's ridiculous.
Yeah. Well, I'll say this, guys. I paid for a golf tournament in the early first week of December. Right. The day of the tournament, I decided I wasn't going to play. I lost $130. But I decided, you know what? My health is more important. I didn't know anybody. I'm like, yeah, you know what? Not a good idea.
Yeah.
I'll bite the bullet. Yeah. It was money out of my pocket. But it went for a charity, so I don't care. It went to charity, so I don't care. Good. But I'm just saying that those are the decisions sometimes that if you don't
adults have to make.
Right. You gotta sometimes go, you know what? Not a good idea. I'm gonna because I mean, I don't want to play 4 hours in a mask. I don't want to play in a mask. I don't want to be like that. So I don't want to take the risk. So
I don't blame you.
I didn't play. So
yeah.
That was the decision I made. And now that I'm thinking back at it right now, I usually get a cold a year. I think everyone normally gets sick at least once a year. I wasn't sick last year. That probably because of the mask, because going out with a mask everywhere, you're not really breathing in everything like you normally would out with people not out.
That's true.
People aren't
touching your face as much.
Yeah, so I didn't get sick. Now that I say that, now I'll get sick.
You'll be definitely ill for a week.
Yeah, Now that I
got sick, I was sick several times last year in the beginning of the year. I got sick in January, I was sick in February, and then I was sick again in October. And but
yeah.
No, but it's
what it is.
Yeah, I mean that's like I said, if you can get it going to the grocery store. You can't be afraid to go and live life. You can't.
No, you really can't.
You can't be afraid to go, yeah, you know what, I got to go to the grocery store. I got to go get gas in my car. You can't be scared of that stuff.
No, of course not. I got a little girl. I got to go see her, She's just, there are things, of course, being smart and social distancing as much as you can, and and wearing your mask where you're supposed to and where you should, and making sure that you're not positive and getting tested if you feel ill. Right. And if you feel ill, taking time off and being responsible as much as you can. We can get through this. It may not be fun, it may not be easy, but 2020 was for a lot of people, it was the most inconvenient year of their life. It wasn't the worst year of their life, but for others it was. And your personal inconvenience isn't worth the life of someone else.
No,
very true. Very true.
Well, I'm glad I got through it though. But I'm glad I didn't have to go through it alone either.
Yeah, that's good news too.
Every Thursday night, man.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Well, I mean, if you guys want to, speaking of the NFL, we can preview the 6 games that are coming up this week in the NFL. The first one, guys, is on Saturday. The 105 game is Indianapolis at Buffalo. Buffalo is a 6.5-point favorite with the over/under being 51.
I'll take Buffalo the points in the under.
Buffalo the points in the under. Okay.
Bills under.
I'll take Trace. I'll go the same route with you guys. Here's the two with this. Now, is this Philip Rivers' last football game as a starter?
No.
Oh, I hope so.
Lewis says he
comes back for one more year.
Comes back. Are you thinking Indianapolis uniform?
Probably, yep.
Okay. All right. Then the 4:40 game is the LA Rams at the Seahawks. The Seahawks are a half-point favorite, 42-point over/under. And I think I heard something today that Jared Goff is questionable in the game.
Questionable, okay. That's better than doubtful.
Yeah. 3.5, and the over/under is 42.
I'll take Seattle. I'll give the points, and I'll take the under. I think that Seattle probably wins this game, probably going away 22-14 late. Especially if Goff doesn't play. If Goff plays, then the Rams are even money. The Seattle defense is suspect at best. They have secondary issues. If Goff can make the throws, I think the Rams have a better than even chance.
Let's see. Wilson against Goff. I don't see that much of a matchup at all. So I say that Seattle is only going to win. They're gonna kill him. They're gonna kill him.
So he thinks Seattle.
Especially if Goff is only questionable. I mean, that doesn't stack up at all.
Yep.
It's gonna be a blowout.
Yeah, that's what doesn't play. Yeah, absolutely.
That's what I read earlier this afternoon, that he was questionable. So I don't know. Again, we're a couple days away. Things can change. I don't know. That's what I read this afternoon, that he was questionable. And if he is questionable, the Seahawks will roll because they don't, but then again, see, they get past the Rams, and I don't know what's going to end up happening. The nightcap, guys, is the game is between Tampa Bay and Washington. The Bucs are 8-point favorites at a 44.5 over/under on Saturday night in Washington.
I will take Tampa. I'll give the points. I think it'll be 4, and I'll take even on the over/under. I think it'll be 24-20 Tampa Bay.
Again, another game with a rout. I mean, Brady. Nobody's gonna be able to stack out to Brady and Washington. Should they even be there? I mean, of course, the NFC least was a big joke this year, and I don't think Washington was even deserving. I mean, well, none of them were deserving to begin with, so it doesn't even stack out. Brady is gonna run. They're gonna run over Washington like a freight truck. Forget it.
Lewis, I agree with you. I've been listening to radio, leading up to the game and everything. Obviously, we're a couple of days away. If the only way the Redskins win the game is if the Bucs turn the ball over and then they get to Brady. If they don't, it's going to be a long, because Alex Smith can't run anymore. Wow. And guess what Todd Bowles loves to do? He loves to blitz. So guess what? He'll bring the blitz. And
we'll be blitzed.
They're going to put that Taylor Heineke kid in there. Good luck to you guys. Good luck to the Washington football team on Saturday.
Over early.
Yeah, I would say yeah. So then we go.
I want to agree with you guys, but that's a scary matchup because it's so easy to overestimate to Washington. And next thing you know, Washington gets a couple of quick scores, and you're playing from behind. And
I mean, again, that's why we play the games. That's why they play the games, because anything is bound to happen with that. Now, again, we were talking about Mr. Derrick Henry, and him and his Titans will be hosting the Ravens at the 1 o'clock game.
The best game of the weekend.
The Ravens are a 3.5-point favorite with the 54.5 over/under in that football game.
I like the Titans. I like the under, and I think they'll cover. Okay, if they're gonna win, they'll cover. Honestly, I think it comes down to quarterback play. Which quarterback plays better? Does Ryan Tannehill do enough to win? Because, it's going to, Derrick Henry's going to get his, and Dobbins is going to get his, and Henry's going to get his. Can the Ravens or the Titans defense contain Lamar Jackson, and what kind of throwing performance will he have? And can Ryan Tannehill do enough to win the game?
Mm-hmm.
I think that it really comes down to Lamar Jackson, the thrower, versus Ryan Tannehill.
If Tannehill and Jackson can stay in their game, I think it's going to be very competitive. But I think 54 is a little bit high, to be honest with you. I mean, I don't see it being an offense. I don't see this being like an offensive type of game at all. But
I agree.
I do got to give it to the Bucs, though. I don't think we're going to see a very high scoring game, but I don't think we'll see much of a lopsided game either. So but I think 54 points that's too high for this game. I expect it to be more defensive.
Yeah.
I think Lamar Jackson gets some revenge from last year. I think this is the game.
Revenge factor.
This now again, I could be wrong, and Derrick Henry could run for 200 yards like he did last week. Who knows how that's going to go? And Dobbins has been, mentioned all week that he's the next wave of running backs. He did it in Adam knows better than I do. He did it in college. Dobbins was a great running back at Ohio State, so we watch him. So he's again. The one thing is, if the Titans can keep Lamar in the pocket, they got a chance to win the football game.
And their secondary is going to have to step up because their secondary got torched last weekend against.
Yeah.
And Tannehill didn't have to have a good game too. He can't throw picks. They can't turn the ball over against the Ravens. So
no, yes, can't do the Ravens short field.
I would take the under in this game. There's no way I think they add up to 54.5 points.
You're looking at both teams scoring a minimum of 54. That's like 26, 27.
Yeah.
I don't think either team's getting to 27. I think it'll be a stretch for either team to get to 27. Especially in Nashville where weather can be a factor.
It's going to be 46 degrees. That's what they're predicting.
Oh,
that's not, and that was the early kick, so it's not like it's going to cool off.
Right.
Are they predicting any kind of weather, wind, rain?
No, it looks like they're predicting cloudy. It says cloudy, so that's what they're predicting. So
46 is perfect. No.
Perfect weather for a football game in January.
Yes.
Mid 40s, cloudy. Should be a good game.
Yeah.
I think it has the potential to be the best game of the weekend.
Well, on Saturday.
The next game, guys, is Chicago at the Saints. The Saints are a 10-point favorite, and the over-under is 47. So I don't see Chicago winning this football game.
No.
That's the only game that I'm kicking. I'm picking Chicago because there's always one every year. There's always one
surprise.
There's always one Cinderella team, a team that shouldn't win, a team that has no business winning, and they do. Especially if Kamara can't go. If Alvin Kamara can't go, and Chicago can get pressure on Breeze, and Breeze is not 100%. I think Chicago's offense can do just enough to win that game. I think they got to keep it low scoring and keep it close in the fourth quarter and get a late touchdown or late field goal, and they can win that game. I know it's in the dome, so there's no weather. And I know I'm probably completely wrong and New Orleans will win by 40, but
yeah,
there's always one every year. It's either going to be Washington or Chicago that's going to surprise somebody.
Yeah, this game doesn't really stack up much at all. I mean, with apologies, my brother who is a Bears fan, no, I don't see it. Saints are going to have a field day with Chicago.
Well, I mean, if Chicago does win, then they'll play the Packers in the next round.
Forget it.
And then the Bucs will go then to Seattle to play the Seahawks if they get past Washington. So that's how
and if Seattle gets past the Rams,
yeah,
Tampa could get a home playoff game if the Rams beat. If all the lower seeds win, Tampa gets a home playoff game. How about that?
How about that?
Yeah, that would be interesting because that's what the Super Bowl is at. So that would be interesting to see and have a whole playoff game. And then, of course, guys, the nightcap is Cleveland at Pittsburgh. The line is 47.5. The weather is going to be 38 degrees in Pittsburgh. And so
is that 6-2 Pittsburgh? Is Pittsburgh the favorite?
Yes, they're favored by 6. Yeah, they're the favorite.
I like Pittsburgh in this matchup. I really think that the Ben Roethlisberger is the difference between a Pittsburgh win and a Cleveland win. If you look at the game last week with Mason Rudolph as the starting for Pittsburgh, That's the difference in the game. If Ben Roethlisberger starts, Cleveland doesn't make the playoffs.
This game worries me a bit because, Pittsburgh, they started out great, flying out everything, going 11-0, and then they stumbled down the stretch. I think they're looking a bit vulnerable, going
a little bit.
A little bit. So it does worry me. I think they'll have enough to win, but it's not going to be like, what we're thinking. I think Cleveland will help make a game of it because Pittsburgh to be shaky right now, but just might be enough to win, especially if Roethlisberger, is in perfect condition. But I see this to be a very hard fought game.
It's a division game in the playoffs. I mean, what more could you want if you're a football fan?
Yeah.
I mean,
well, Cleveland's got COVID issues. Their head coach is
that
out.
too, yeah.
So, but then again, that might be something they could use and say, you know what, we're going to play a motivation tool.
Yeah,
and
of course.
They did play, and like you guys said, that Rudolph did play last week, and in that game. And again, it's a division game, and Cleveland's been that team's had the worst luck in all of football, for crying out loud. The drive, the fumble,
mistake on the lake.
They have
to go, right 88.
Now they got to go play a division rival. Who, if you guys remember last year, there was that big brawl. At the end.
Yeah.
Forget that. So they've had cooler heads this year. So, but I mean,
Pittsburgh has prevailed.
Mm-hmm.
Pittsburgh has no running game, and they're
thing.
But they'll have enough to beat Cleveland because of either the COVID issues or they'll make
Ben Roethlisberger is the X factor in this game. I think Cleveland can win this game. It's not out of the realm of possibility. I think 6 is too. I think 6 is. I think this is probably the second most competitive because I think the Ravens Titans game is the most competitive game on in the first round.
Yes.
But I like. I think Cleveland can control the ball and run clock and keep the ball out of Roethlisberger's hands. I think they can win this game. I think they definitely need to shorten the game and not allow Roethlisberger to have a lot of opportunities.
Yes.
I would agree with that. I would agree. Okay. All right. Well, that is all the football talk.
For now, and we didn't even hit.
At least for now.
We didn't even hit the draft, and there's we didn't even talk about the Heisman Trophy winner.
We can talk about that too. We did, a wide receiver won for the first time since
first time since 91.
Yep.
That shocked me because I thought the kid from Alabama did win the Heisman Trophy.
Yeah.
Mac Jones. Beat Mac Jones. Yeah.
I didn't think Mac Jones had done enough to win it. I just think that Devontae Smith was was clearly the best player in college football this year.
The voting was that close.
No, it really wasn't, and I think Mac Jones deserved, or not Mac Jones, Devontae Smith there deserved to win the Heisman this year. I think he earned it.
He's gonna be a wreck to have to cover on Monday.
I did some mock drafting over the weekend after everything wrapped because I had Monday off, so I was doing some mock drafting, looking at that, and with the Lions being my first team, I had the Lions take him at 5. Honestly, I hate taking a receiver in the first round. I hate taking a receiver top 5, but he's just so damn talented. And if you have him, the Lions, you need so much. And because I ran it a couple of times and was looking at things, and Justin Fields was on the board a couple of times, and I was tempted to pull the trigger, but I still think that Fields is a great player potentially. We'll see what he looks like in the championship game against a premier defense like Alabama's, and we'll see what he has for a top tier defense. Not to say that Clemson wasn't a good defense, but Clemson and Alabama are not playing on the same playing field this year. and that'll help me narrow down. And I want to see Smith in the championship game, big stage, big time. Lights are up. Let's see what he's got. I think that it's going to be. I think it really a lot of the draft will shake out in the championship game.
Yes.
It's gonna the Monday. Will Jacksonville take Justin Fields or they take Trevor Lawrence? They got the first pick, so that basically they're gonna set unless
Fields.
They automatically trade that first pick to whoever says, "Okay, we'll give you this, this, and this," and we'll take
trade out of number 1 this year. Can you pass on Lawrence or Fields?
I don't think I would if I would. Because Jacksonville, just like the Lions, they need a lot. Everybody at the top needs a lot of. They have a lot of
everything, a lot of everything.
So you don't want to give up a pick. Oh well, we'll trade down to 3. Well, yeah, but then maybe one of the first 2 guys that you wanted to take, the first 2 teams go, yeah, we'll just take them, and that way that guy. Because let's look back last year. Let's look at CeeDee Lamb, right? The Eagles wanted him. Who drafted him? The Dallas Cowboys. They took him away from Philadelphia because they knew Philly needed a wide receiver,
and they knew that Philly wanted him specifically.
Yep. So we move up in the draft. We'll take him. So that's what happens.
Yeah.
So would I trade out? No, there's no way I would trade out.
Not this year, because Trevor Lawrence and Justin Fields are both generational talents.
Yeah. Yep.
I'll give you that.
I after about the 3rd round, it gets really muddled. I think this is a weak back half of the draft.
Usually is.
There's some years. Last year I had a pretty strong second half of the draft. But this year I really didn't. I didn't recognize a lot of the names coming off the board in the 3rd and 4th round this year. It's like I don't recognize that. I don't know that guy. One of my sleeper picks for this year's draft is Brock Purdy out of Iowa State. The kid's got such a nice upside. He can make all the throws. He's good, smart. He can run. He's not like a Lamar Jackson or a Dante Culpepper, but he's got a good set of wheels on him. He's my sleeper pick. I really think somebody's got it. He's a stud in the making, especially if a team that needs a quarterback for the future can get him. Like New Orleans or I can't think of another team off the top of my head. Maybe Indy. He would be a very good fit in Indy.
Sure.
Behind Rivers, if they can get Rivers to come back for one more year.
I think Rivers is done.
Where, Bud, do you have the kid out of BYU going, their quarterback?
I don't have him coming off the board.
Okay.
I think he's a bust in the making. He's reckless. He's arrogant. He's not playing at BYU, getting beat by Coastal Carolina and looking pretty pathetic. The level of competition hasn't been high enough.
No.
I wouldn't touch him with a 10-foot pole. He's probably going to go in the top 5. He'll probably go. I've seen some mock drafts where he's going number 2 overall to New York.
Mm-hmm.
But do you? I really think that this was the trade that I had back in October was the Jets trade Sam Darnold and their first round pick to Baltimore. Right. Listen to me, Denver for Phillip Lindsay Melvin Gordon and somebody else. I forget. If I remembered I knew what the post was. I go look it up, but it's been like 4 months and be pretty hard to find. But I thought that the Jets would have been smart to trade Donald to Baltimore. I did it again. Denver, the Broncos, another a B word.
Bozo.
So. Because at that point, Denver needed a quarterback desperately, and I really thought that I still think that Sam Darnold can be a productive NFL quarterback. I think that Adam Gase is, if you get him in the right situation with a good coach and a good, and the thing that hurt a lot of teams this year was the lack of in-person practices. It it's not valued the way it should be. Being able to get on the field and practice and actually make contact and have and hit pads and walk through things more than just a couple hours a week it's so important.
Well, I mean, we're just talking about, I'm just looking this up, guys. I'm looking about Black Monday. Right. The coaches that are out. Now, here's the question I have. We all knew that, obviously, Adam Gase is out of New York. We all knew that was going to very much play out. Now, here's the thing. Now you got Doug Marone out in Jacksonville. Yes. And then I think the surprise, is Anthony Lynn. Now,
I was shocked by that. I was not.
Shocked me too in Los Angeles. So I
thought he deserved another year. I thought he earned another year.
He should have.
And I mean, you got a young quarterback who I think is up and coming in Justin.
Oh yeah, Justin Herbert's
doubted him because he got drafted behind Tua, and he's not as good. To me, I think he outplayed Tua. And again, maybe I'm wrong because I got to see Tua a lot being here in Florida, and the Dolphins play here. But I mean, I thought Herbert was a lot better than Tua did.
Oh no, I absolutely agree. Oh, sure. I don't not to say that Tua played badly, but I think that Herbert was a better quarterback this particular year. I think I was talking to one of the groups on Facebook here. I think that the Dolphins need to look at a new offensive coordinator.
Oh yeah.
Especially if what Tua does best is the short game, the underneath stuff, they need to find a coordinator that specializes in that and build an offense around that. And look to get some of the, get some smaller guys, some faster guys, the Julian Edelman types, or and so, guys like that can, speed and space. They can create that and turn that short passing game, or kind of an extended handoff, if you will, and turn that into a weapon. Mm-hmm. I think that even though the Dolphins have been through two coordinators in the last 2 years, I think one more coordinator change wouldn't necessarily be a bad idea. Especially, I really think, and I think 2021 will be a much different year than 2020. I think that especially if we can get back to some semblance of normal, where we can have a lot more in-person meetings, and we're not doing, Zoom calls, as it were. Mm-hmm. And you can actually have, sit down and click through film, click with your quarterback and your receiver. And I think that hurt Carson Wentz this year, was the fact that he wasn't able to sit down with his quarterback's coach as much as you might in a normal year and talk about, what's going on, and breaking down film, and, and having to do the social distancing and wearing masks. And I know in my particular line of work, wearing masks it's very disconcerting. It makes it very difficult to communicate, and just talking and constantly having to take the mask down to communicate and then putting it back up, and it's just distracting. It's irritating, annoying, and I think that if we can get back to a more and not having training camp, not having preseason, I think it's really shown the importance. I think 2021 has shown the importance, or 2020 has shown the importance of at least a couple of preseason games.
Absolutely, they should have played. I think they should have played at least two to help them get in the flow of it. Because not having no preseason, you needed to get tuned up and everything. You need the drills and whatnot. I know this year is difficult, but that's the way it's supposed to be done. You play 2 preseason games, tune up.
Well, it's funny. You brought up Carson Wentz. One of the guys that's on the list, that is on the questionable list to be fired, is Doug Peterson in Philadelphia.
Yeah.
What do you think about that? Do you think that he should be on the hot seat, or you think no?
He's on the hot. Even before the Sutterfield, the Hurts incident, if you will, because I can't say the other guy's name. I was shopping. If I was Doug Marone, or not Doug Peterson, I'm sorry, not Doug Marone. I was shopping my resume. I wanted out of Philly. It's a dumpster fire. Management, ownership, the whole works. It's a dumpster fire, and I'd have been gone. I would have been looking for somewhere else to go.
Yeah.
Because it's fixing it's the Titanic, it's the Hindenburg, and it's already on fire.
Oh, the humanity.
Yeah, I was or in this case, Eagle-manity. They're just Eagle fans.
Sorry. Yeah.
I mean, you guys see any of the interim coaches hanging on to their jobs?
No.
Level, maybe.
Atlanta,
in Detroit.
You think Atlanta?
Yeah, he might get a year or two to see if he can make something happen.
Or do you think Arthur Blank's going to want to go after a big name? That's the question.
It depends on what name's available.
Yeah.
It depends on how the dominoes start falling.
Do you think Mike McCarthy gets fired in Dallas?
No.
Yep. Yes.
Not yet. Do you, before the start of next season or at the end of next season?
Okay. Well, I mean, put it to you this way: is the whole NFC East a dumpster fire? All four of those.
Hell yeah.
It's a dumpster fire is putting it mildly.
Okay. So you just that would you guys would consider that the worst division in all of the NFL?
Oh,
yep. By far.
Okay. So that would be okay. All right. Well, I mean, I don't disagree with you. That was just a question. I was like,
no, yeah. I expected McCarthy.
West.
3-4 weeks ago, I thought McCarthy was going to get fired for sure. Yeah. Now I'm not so sure. I don't think he'll be fired before the start of next season yet.
Do you think he gets fired mid-season then next
year? Depending how if they're 2-4, 2-6, yeah, he's done.
Why prolong the agony? Let's just get it over with. I think by the time the offseason comes around, he's a goner.
I think the only coach in that division that's safe is Ron Rivera.
Yeah, Ron Rivera. Ron Rivera has Joe Judge is safe too in New York.
Yes, and Joe Judge, right with the Giants.
I think he's safe for about half a year. They can't start. They can't go 0-6 or 1-5, 2-4. They got to start fast and win.
Yeah,
I think a good place for Brock Purdy is New York. The Giants.
Mm-hmm.
It'd be a good fit.
Yeah. But I don't know why the Jets waited so long to fire Gaze. I mean, you knew this season was going to be horrible. And I said to myself, Self said, what? If this goes beyond 0-4, Gaze is a goner. But they kept him in for the whole season. Why? I don't know.
I don't know either.
Way. And you kept him. Why? You wasted the whole season on a bum.
Because they hate Sam Darnold? I mean, I don't know. He must have had nudes of the ownership or something.
Okay, I'll give you that. But I was reading an article for the Jets CEO, and before the season, he actually called Gaze an offensive genius. Like, what?
Are we just diluting the word genius now?
Yeah, I think we are. 2-14. He's an offensive genius. Where?
The word genius means absolutely nothing at this point.
No.
We had that. He was the OC of record when Manning had 5,000 yards and 47 billion touchdowns in 2013.
Right. Well, actually,
and close. It's pretty easy to look like an offensive genius when you just let Peyton Manning do whatever Peyton Manning's going to do.
Right.
I mean, I think you could, talk about failing up.
Oh, yeah.
You get fired, and, you go and you have a mediocre season in Chicago.
Yes.
With John Fox, and you somehow manage to land the Dolphins job. And you have 3 mediocre seasons, and you have a mediocre season, a terrible season, and somehow you manage to top that by being even worse. and then to top it all off, you dig a basement under your all-time low in New York.
Oh yeah.
Well, I mean, it couldn't have been any worse. They had the number 1 overall pick in the 2 games.
Big deal. Like that's gonna mean anything?
You got the number 1 pick in the draft. And what did you do? You won 2 games, and Jacksonville snuck in there. Now they get started.
Yeah. Well,
let's look at it this way. Okay. Now the comment was you won and you lost on the same day you got your first victory. Well, look. Trevor Lawrence didn't want to come to the Jets anyway, so that part of that is completely irrelevant. And you don't want to come away. You know what? We don't care. You don't want to come to us. We don't need you.
Well, here's the question I have: what happens if Jacksonville takes Justin Fields? The Jets pick second.
Yeah. Like I said, Jacksonville's a long way from contending. Yeah.
True. Yes.
Top does not guarantee your team's success.
No.
I've seen in a couple of simulations I were running, I've run Jacksonville takes Lawrence 1 and the Jets take Wilson 2. No, I don't like him at all. I could be wrong. I was wrong about Justin Allen or Josh Allen, whatever his name is. I thought he was. I didn't think he was necessarily a bust, like some of the all-time great busts, but I didn't think he was NFL ready, NFL level. I didn't. I mostly I thought I was worried about his injuries, as he had a pretty couple of major concussions at Wyoming, and he played Division II college football, and so I didn't think he was NFL material.
Well,
I've been proven wrong. I'm happy to be wrong about Josh Allen. He's a great quarterback. He's looked really good through the first 17 weeks of the season. We'll see how they pan out in.
Yeah, but how many really come out of Wyoming though? Not very many.
Right.
Well, I mean, think about this. I mean, if they now, the Bills are back back to being notoriety again, not since the '90s,
right?
With Kelly and Thomas, and, Reed and Bruce Smith and everyone, Darryl Talley, all of them. You can go down the list of great players that played in Buffalo. But I mean, now Allen, there's a guy that again was not, he was he's not that good. That team is pretty damn good. Buffalo's a pretty damn good football team. Now, are they going to get the Super Bowl? I don't know. I mean,
I got them. As it sits right now, I've got them in the AFC Championship game.
Well, if they do, they'll miss this. They'll miss the win by a field goal. It's a 45-yard. Oh, he got only 44 yards. Oh,
wide right.
Norwood.
Ken Norwood.
Yep, that was the that missed field goal in the Super Bowl.
91, the 91 Super Bowl.
Yep.
And it's the difference between Bill Parcells being a great coach and just being another coach.
That's true.
Yep. So you have them in the AFC Championship game against who?
Kansas City.
Ah, the Chiefs. Okay.
Yep.
I gotta agree with you on that. I think that's a good matchup.
I have, as much as I don't want it, because I want Tampa Bay to. No, I'm sorry about the NFC. As much as I don't want it, because I want Tampa Bay to win as a Tom Brady fan, I want Tampa Bay to win it all.
But it's obvious.
I've got New Orleans. I've got New Orleans and Green Bay in the championship game.
Oh yeah.
In the NFC.
Oh sure.
Not disregarding everything I said earlier. Not saying that. I'm just saying that about New Orleans and Chicago. There's always one game where the team that shouldn't win. I think it's coming down between Washington and Tampa and Chicago and New Orleans. Where I think New Orleans can be a little bit overconfident and kind of overlook Chicago, looking on to next week and looking on to let's see if they'd be the 2, so they would get the 3, or they would looking ahead to Seattle a little bit, and they could end up losing that game to Chicago. Will it happen? I'm not putting any money on it, but I'm saying that it's something you seriously, if you're if you really think about it, I really think that's the game that has the most potential for upset.
Well, I always say about this, could it happen? Sure. Will it happen? That's another story altogether.
Will it happen? I don't think so, but I think that's the most intriguing upset alert that I have this year, or this week. I mean,
what did I say, Max Kellerman? Jeez.
No, but I've never said anything about a cliff.
Yeah, right. Yeah, or that Tom Brady's falling off. Yeah, like you said, off the cliff.
But I'm not saying that anything. I don't think I'm being any kind of a Rob Parker, Max Kellerman. I'm just saying that there's always one game, and this is the one game that to me stands out to be that game that where Cinderella gets to go to the ball. I'm not saying. I'm just saying that that's the game that I'm picking that game to be the most likely upset. I'm not picking. I'm saying that's the game that I'm picking most likely to be upset. I'm still taking New Orleans by 30, but I'm thinking that's the game that's most likely to be an upset.
The Bucks match up better again.
The glass slipper still fits. Oh, somebody shut me up.
I think if the Bucks are going to win it all, they have to go to Green Bay. If they have to play the Saints, they don't match up well. The first two games have not been great. So if Tampa Bay wants to get to the game and they want to be the first ever team in history to host, they have to go to Green Bay. They match up much better against Rodgers and company than they do against Drew Brees and company.
Green Bay.
Yeah. So
unless they go to Chicago.
Unless they go to Chicago, which they struggled against the Bears this year too. So the Bucks had against Chicago too.
I don't know. I don't see the Bucks. I don't see the Bears, coming out of this. I mean, great they got in. My brother be happy about that, but I really don't see him getting, past the wild card round. I really don't.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
My brother.
Right.
But
no, I think they go to Green Bay and lose.
Okay.
Unfortunately, I think it's New Orleans and Green Bay in the NFC Championship game, and I just like I like a cold weather team in a cold weather stadium. I don't. It's that's the thing is that's why you play football in Green Bay.
Yeah. That's why you don't with baseball.
I agree. I agree with that. I think that if it is Green Bay and the Saints, I don't have to see a rematch of Super Bowl I.
Yeah.
Green Bay.
Yeah. I was hoping for that one last year, KC and Green Bay for the 60th year, the 60th anniversary or whatever it was.
Right.
Yeah. I was really hoping for that. I think that's where I'm thinking Green Bay and Kansas City. Well, I think Buffalo can give Kansas City fits. Yeah. Honestly, I think Buffalo can give Kansas City fits, but I don't know. I just don't see them. No. I think that game is going to be really good. That's the game. Because I can't see any of the other defenses being able to contain Mahomes, and we already saw that game earlier in the year, Buffalo and Kansas City, and if Josh Allen hadn't thrown up all over himself in that game, Buffalo easily could have won that game.
Just to note, that it's only the 55th Super Bowl, so 60th wasn't
right.
So, and I've been alive for most of them.
Right.
You guys want to go into the NBA or NHL next? We can do both of those too. We haven't talked about basketball or hockey. NBA?
Yeah.
NBA? All right. I mean, obviously, let's look at the standings because I haven't got a chance to I know I will be reporting on Monday that Markelle Fultz is out for the season. He tore his ACL. That's a big blow to the Magic. I will be talking about that on my Monday show. But let's look right now. And you look at the Eastern Conference, and speaking of the Magic, they're in second place behind the 76ers. You have Indiana, Boston. The Knicks are 5-3.
Yeah.
Back win. Cleveland.
The Knicks?
Knicks are number 5 right now in the Eastern Conference. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
You got the Bucks, the Cavaliers, and the Nets round out the top 8, and then it's Atlanta, Chicago, Miami, Charlotte, Washington, Toronto. But that's funny. Toronto comes to Tampa, and they're 1-6. That's interesting.
That's shocking.
So, I guess they've gone to die. The true north comes to the south to die. That could be what be going on with the Raptors.
Right? About KD, I mean, the Nets might be in a little problem because he's going to be out for the next 3 games. He was already out last night.
Okay, I'd heard of it. He was going to miss 4 games.
4 games.
Durant's going to miss 4 games. Is that?
Yeah. Thanks to you know what.
And then the Western Conference is Phoenix, the Lakers, the Clippers, Utah, New Orleans, Golden State, Sacramento, Portland round out the top 8. Then it's Dallas, Denver, Oklahoma City, San Antonio, Houston, Minnesota, and the Memphis Grizzlies are in last place in the Western Conference.
Luka, what are you doing?
I was wondering the same thing.
Yeah, supposed to be one of the greatest players, of this generation, and your team was like, ugh.
Right?
Are the Mavericks that bad so far this season? I haven't watched any basketball. You guys are gonna have to.
I watched a little bit of basketball, not as much as I probably should have to be competent to talk about it here on the show. I watched a little bit of basketball. It's too early. We're only 8 games in. Yeah. It's like being it's like being in week 4 of the NFL season and trying to be like, definitely in week 4 I'm sure that everybody had Oakland and Minnesota in the Super Bowl. So I mean,
I'll be things on Saturday, so just to be strong about that.
So I think like the panic in Golden State after losing 2 games by 30 plus for the first time in 40 years or something like that. It's just so early, they're 7th in the conference or 6th, something like that. Okay. It's just so early to push the panic button. I mean,
well,
how about Brown scoring 60 points last night in the loss? How about that?
He was not happy about that at all. I mean, he was like disgusted with himself and like you.
Yeah.
I wasn't gonna do it I wasn't gonna swear on the air, so
we'll just dump your audio. That's all right.
Everything is cool on this show except for the F word. So I just let you know that you can do anything you want except just can't say that word. You can. I've used it in a quote before. And I've been told by the guy that runs the network. If it's in the quote, please read the word. Don't say F word. Just say the word. Right. So yeah. That's everything else is cool.
I mean,
well, I'm just gonna quote myself from the rest of them.
You get the fact of the frustration,
I mean,
50 points though. That doesn't happen very often, but
yeah,
have that and lose.
Yeah.
No, yeah, that's. I couldn't imagine.
I mean, well, just think about this. Say you score 60 points in a game 7 of an NBA Finals and your team loses. I would be livid.
Yeah, I can't say what I would do if I was on the air. This is a family show. But let's just say my toes might be cold in the morning.
Yeah, true.
I might be a little blue in the face,
Oh, I'd be agree with Envy.
I'd take a long shower.
Yeah, but at the same time,
in a tub full of water.
At the same time, I thought maybe you're taking it a little bit too personally. I mean, you did the best you can do. You did score.
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean,
that's not often you do that. Then they get coming with 6 points in. We still lost. I don't care. Say what you will.
Yeah,
we still lost. My best games were when we lost. I'm disgusted. Oh boy. I mean, that's taking. I guess some people just can't take a loss very well. Must be for me.
I know. I turn the game off before I get to losing.
How much?
See, I mean, at least you have the option to turn the game off. When you're covering the game live, you can't change the channel. It's there. It's
I can't reset the.
You can leave them early,
You gotta stay.
He doesn't have the luxury of resetting his Xbox. So
yeah, exactly.
We're down by 20 points with about 4 minutes to go in the game. I'm gonna head for the parking lot. I'll see.
Yeah. I'm gonna go to the bus. I'll see y'all later.
Yeah.
And see, that's what happened with not this year, but last year. Wisconsin came down here. We were down 28-0. I'm like, I want to go home. Oh, but you can't. You gotta sit through them and watch them get killed. And that's what I had to.
We're embarrassed enough already.
So yeah,
right.
I mean, that's that again. When you're at home, you're like, yeah, I just changed the channel, watch another game.
Yeah, I can fall asleep, whatever.
I'm just gonna crawl into a bottle and I'll see y'all on Monday.
I'll see you when the season's over.
I agree with you guys. It really is too early in the NBA season to go, yeah, this team's bad, that team's bad. It's too early to predict what's going to happen.
I mean, because, all right, well, I know it's a short season, but it's not like it's a very short season. Like,
right.
Lockouts and whatnot. When that was like a 48-game season, okay, because that's a short season. I mean,
it really is.
72 games is not that big of a deal when you
it's really not.
Games and for the most part, most people don't really look at the first weeks in because we're some football. I mean, basically they start paying more attention like around Christmas, which I was looking forward.
Yeah.
But of course, I always look forward to the Christmas Day games. Regardless.
Yeah, some really good basketball on Christmas Day this year too.
It's still early, relatively speaking, and the season's going to go until May. So
yeah.
And if you fall into a hole like 1-5, okay, not a big deal right now. It's not like you're like, and if you get hurt, whatnot, like say if it's like in April or May, like and you're in a hole like trying to fight for a place, like, well, I guess we're sunk. I mean, at least you still got time to, recoup. But it's still hard to imagine that Toronto, who just a year and a half ago won the NBA championship, and now they're like
1-6.
1-6.
I wouldn't start worrying until I was like 1-10. That would definitely be pushing. I would definitely be pushing the panic button at that point. Especially 3-17.
Yeah, well, that's just relatively speaking, but
yeah, definitely would be like.
But I'll say one thing: they are a different team without Kawhi Leonard. They are. Different.
Yes, I would agree. Definitely.
At 3-17, you're looking at a 14 game. You're looking to get back to 5 to just get back to 500. You have to win 14 games in a row, and that gets you to 34 games with only a 72 game season. That's a lot of really, really great basketball that you have to play.
Now, if you were like saying in this person, if you're 0-12, I think you can say forget it.
Yeah, definitely going to push the panic button at that point.
Yeah, there's
even 1-12 or 2-12, I would definitely be thinking about making some changes or trying something new because coaching changes.
Thank you. That's what I was waiting for.
Or personnel changes. Maybe the G League's getting ready to start this Monday. I would definitely be looking at bringing in some free agents or making a roster move, trying to get a trade going. I don't know necessarily if I'm going to blow it up and start all over at 0-12 or 2-10 or 2-12 or 2-14. But if I was the GM or ownership, I would be really like, we need to do something different. I don't know what it is exactly, but.
Well, if you can get rid of James Dolan, I think I'd be very happy as a Knick fan.
Right.
But but we don't see that happening on, do we, folks? Right?
Unless if you can scrounge up $4 billion, I'm game to go in with you.
Okay, Bradley can put up about $1.5 billion. I'll put up $1.5 billion, and you can put $1.5 billion. So
that sounds good.
It might take us a while to do it, though.
I got 12 right here. We can start.
I got 171 in my closet. So
I would.
Is that what you got left? Is that what you got left from your stimulus check? if we put our stimulus checks together, we got a whopping $1,800. Does that even get us? Does that even get us Knicks tickets at this point?
Maybe on this? No, I guess not.
One nosebleed section seat at Madison Square Garden.
I think $1,800 should get you a TV on the roof
at MSG.
Yeah, I bet those nosebleed seats. Thank you very much. Yeah. No, really, I have.
I've been there. I was there for.
I haven't been to MSG. I've been to. Let's see. I've been to Comerica Park. I've been to the Mudheads Park. That's a pretty cool stadium for a minor league stadium.
Oh right.
I've been to the Joe. I've been to MIS, and I've been to Talladega.
MIS is where?
Michigan International Speedway.
I had to ask it.
I had to answer.
Yeah.
You ask, I answer.
No, it's Ricky Bobby. No.
Let's not talk about that.
Right. I'm sorry, I just couldn't resist. When I hear the name Talladega, that's what I think of, Ricky Bobby.
I'm 10 years old and I'll still kick your ass.
I will.
I'm all hyped up on Mountain Dew.
I haven't Mountain Dew either.
So hockey's getting ready to start out, guys. That's
he said changing the subject quickly.
No, talk about it if you want to. No, we're what are we 6 days away from
Yeah, I'm excited. I love it. That's my first love is hockey.
hockey? Okay, because it looks like on January 13th we have Pittsburgh at Philly, Montreal at Toronto, Chicago at Tampa Bay, Vancouver, Edmonton, and St. Louis at Colorado. I think the Avalanche will probably be the team that, again, this is just me saying right now, should be the Western Conference recipient or representative in the Stanley Cup this year. That's just how I look at it. The Avs were good last year. Had it not been for them losing a defenseman and their goalie, I think they would have gotten further this year had it not been for that. That's just me saying that.
Out of the West, yeah, I like Colorado.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
And the Eastern Conference, who do you guys like in the East?
I like Tampa.
Okay.
I would have liked Washington if
they got
Chara.
Chara's there.
No, Lundqvist. If Lundqvist hadn't gone down with the heart condition,
he's gonna have open heart surgery, right? Is that
something like that? Yeah.
Yeah.
He's gonna be out for the year.
Because who's the goalie now? Because it isn't one name. They're a goalie that they had last year left.
So right.
There, I don't know.
Simeon Varlamov, was that his name? Something like that. Yeah, he's in New York now. New York's a dangerous team. The Islanders, they're a very dangerous team. They were very dangerous last year. I think you got to go Tampa Bay at the top. I mean, you king of the hill until somebody knocks you off.
Right.
Probably, and then I don't know about Boston. They've lost a lot of pieces. Bergeron was named captain. I saw that this afternoon.
Yep, he got named captain. Yep.
Yeah. Without Chara, I don't know about Boston.
Yeah, but Chara was older than dirt at this point, so I mean,
Well,
I was gonna say about Boston, age catches is gonna catch up to them. That's
yeah. They're getting old.
Yep.
I like Dallas. I think Dallas can be a threat out of the West. Actually, going bouncing back and forth because I forgot Dallas was in the West and not the East. Because the Dallas is in the East in the NFL, and so I
screwed up.
This is why they don't pay me for this show.
Oh my God.
Maybe someday maybe someday that'll happen.
Right?
Yeah.
Maybe someday.
I mean, like when it comes to sports, none of these people did well in geography. I can say that right.
Right.
There you go. I agree with that.
Detroit is in the West. Detroit's in the West. The West of where?
They were in the Western Conference for a long time.
No, but
2016?
Yeah.
From 89?
Yeah, they were
79? Sometime in the 70s or 80s, they were moved to the West, and they stayed in the West until 2015, I believe it was. And 2014 was their last year in the West.
So they got realigned. Yep.
Yeah.
That reminds me. They're realigning it now. This is just for this year, but they're using corporate sponsors names for the divisions.
Yeah. I heard that today.
I don't have any problem with it.
I don't even. I mean, soccer has that big logo on their freaking chest. Why not just, NASCAR?
Yeah, I was gonna say, as a NASCAR fan, we've had a premier sponsor since 1979.
Well, I mean, but the whole division is like, you like the Goodyear Tire division. Maybe that's just an example.
Discover, Scotia Bank,
Discovery, Bank,
and I forget the other two.
The Frosted Flake.
Right. I don't have any problem with that. I mean, especially
the Gatorade division. Well,
Gatorade division.
Especially if it's going to keep, if I'm as a fan, I'm a fan of the NHL. I'm a fan of players. I think that if it's going to keep the players from having to defer as much salary, I'm all for it. The players. I look at the players as just like employees at any other job, and they're the ones that work that put in all the work, and they get dollars.
Yeah.
The boss makes $1, I make $10. That's why I poop on company time.
Well, I do it when it's not company time. Okay. Oh.
I do both. I mean, I go whenever I gotta go. I mean,
right.
I go back.
This is not Shark Tank. You don't have to act.
Tarnish in this book, ladies and gentlemen. Oh boy.
Well, no one ever said I was a classy person, so.
Never think. And I'm a lot older. Yeah.
No, yeah, I'm looking forward to hockey starting back up.
Me too. I'm looking for to have especially as football is winding down. I'm looking forward to having more to talk about.
Sure.
We got like 3 weeks and then football's all done and till the draft. So
I made a comment the other day that football is like your wife, but hockey and baseball are like your girlfriend. So you got to woo your girlfriends while your wife is away.
Where's baseball again? Where's baseball?
Comes back in August, but your girlfriends hold you over until you get back to August.
Yeah.
Okay, but what about baseball? Where does that rank between
baseball and hockey are your girlfriends until football comes back? That's
then basketball is what?
A secret mistress that you don't talk about.
Yeah.
Okay. Wow,
that's
a very weird analogy.
Hey,
that's the hallmark of our show. This should be the slogan. A weird analogy. The Walker Report. Weird analogy.
If you want to be a soccer fan, she could be the prostitute that you're not supposed to talk about.
And remember, and golf's just golf's just a good walk ruined.
That's it. Exactly.
Yeah, but we're swimming. No.
Go down the list. We'll keep going down the list. All the other sports that go on.
Boxing.
Boxing is just Saturday night. Boxing is Saturday night with the boys.
Yeah, there you go. See, there you go. UFC, throw it all in there. Throw it in there.
The WWE.
But WWE is a weeknight with the kids.
Okay.
Well, I mean, that's going to be coming around. The big pay-per-views are getting ready to start that.
But I wasn't sure where you ranked it though, because of course, people can take it or leave it as like, is it a real sport or not a real sport and whatnot.
No, I used to like wrestling. I used to be a huge wrestling fan back at the end of the 90s. Me and Brad have talked about the Attitude Era and the Ruthless Aggression Era and how I kind of fell out of love. And I was telling Brad a couple weeks ago, we were talking about wrestling, and I think you were on the show, and how it just feels so recycled. I feel like it's the same stuff it was 25 years ago with worse acting.
Oh yeah.
And that's the thing is like, I'm not saying I understand that wrestling is fake. That's okay. I don't care. It's just another television show.
I used to take it a lot more seriously, and then I'm like, oh
no. I understand it's just another. It's all scripted, and all the winners are predetermined 99% of the time. You have things that happen. A guy will get hurt in the ring, and they'll have a quick finish, or you'll have a quick change finish. But 90%, 99% of the time, you've got your outcomes are all scripted. And
there's always one character that goes against the script. Like, guys, that's not the way I planned it. What are you doing? Oh, we're just trying to have a player without. Shut up.
Right? Yeah, but those guys don't last very long. You've got to have some serious. You're gonna have to have some serious. You got to be a Triple H to get that. To have that kind of to be able to do that kind of thing. Or be really good, or be really good friends with whoever you're working with. And people don't realize that part of wrestling is, part of, people think about kayfabe and not to use too many insider wrestling terms, but the idea that it's a real, that everything's a shoot, that idea that we as an audience are supposed to, we know it's a work, but you have to sell it as a shoot where it's, and blurring that line between work shoot is what really makes a wrestling promotion, stand out amongst the other, entertainments that we have is how do you get fans to buy into what you're selling as a promotion. Exactly. And for me, like for the last 10 years, the WWE hasn't sold me on anything. Neither have any of the other promotions. I watched a little bit of AEW, and it's just watered down.
I mean, I have friends that are big wrestling fans, and we were watching the first week, when that thing started, and of course they had no fans, and it's like, just like watching them. Like you couldn't really tell the difference because like they were just rehearsing or whatnot. It was really hard to tell. But yeah, I was surprised by how that was still going on because with everything with trying to keep the distance on wrestling, how do you keep your distance? You can't. I mean, how do you do a body slam 6 feet apart? Not going to happen.
Yeah. And that's where all the testing stuff.
Sorry. And then you get slammed in the neck. It's like, I thought it was going to be 6 feet apart. Stupid. Sorry.
And that's where all the testing stuff comes into play, and making sure that you're healthy and working safe as much as you can. Because I in my everyday life, where I work, we do a lot of stuff where we're right on top of each other, and you just kind of have to be. We're not able to be 6 feet apart, but we may wear masks and we have barriers. And
I mean, football and whatnot. Well, that's kind of hard to do too.
Yeah, any major outside of maybe tennis or golf.
Baseball.
Yeah, but even then, baseball is so if you got runners on base and you're trying to hold somebody on first, you have to be in proper position.
Well, when the pitcher to the hitter, that's a little bit more distance, and that was going to be the first one actually to come back, because it's safer out of all the major sports. But yet, they just kept dragging and dragging. Like, well, let's see.
They kicked their feet pretty hard.
60. No, like that. No, let's do about 140 games. We'll start in August and we'll go to like next July or whatever. Like, no, that'll be ridiculous. I mean, baseball was the one that was really dragging through the mud out of everybody.
Yeah. They really did drag their feet.
Yeah, and I wonder if they're going to start on time this year. I mean,
I don't even know if they're going to have spring training this year.
Hearing from from what Rob was saying.
That Rob.
Yeah, saying expect us to start on time, like in February for spring training. I'm not so sure about that. Unless we hear otherwise, we're going to start on time.
Good luck with that.
Yeah, good luck with that. That's right, you big schmuck.
Well, it's funny that you're speaking about the WWE. Their Thunderdome is at Tropicana Field where they're
right.
Yeah,
I see the trucks every day going home. I take the highway home, and all their WWE stuff is sitting outside. So.
Yeah,
but I agree. I don't think the funny thing is you get guys like The Rock and John Cena now are in Hollywood. They're not wrestling anymore.
No,
so there's
they're
too
old.
Yeah, they're not a big draw anymore.
No.
It's not Stone Cold, it's not Triple H, it's not The Rock, it's not those guys. The Big Show, Kane, Undertaker, they're all gone. All those guys.
Yeah,
Undertaker retired.
Undertaker's done.
The Rock's going to own the XFL. He wants to bring it back for
Come on.
And that's. I mean, I'm just saying those are the things that the WWE has is all of their big stars leave.
Well,
Randy Orton might be the biggest star they have.
Randy Orton,
right?
Well, he's 42 now.
He's in his 40s now.
See what I mean?
Brock Lesnar is in and out.
Part timer. Yep.
He's a part-time guy. So yeah, they don't have. There's not a big. They don't have a big draw like
they really don't.
No.
So neither does AEW. AEW don't have a big draw either.
Minor league stuff from AEW minor league.
So I mean,
I don't know.
My nephew was a big John Cena fan. You've already mentioned him, Bradley. My nephew Gavin, who is now he's not a little kid anymore. He's 17 years old. So, but
1 year away from graduating high school. Nice.
Well, I think it might have to go another year from all this stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Well, maybe it might be next year. Maybe it might be 2023. I saw beginning before I turn 100. It might be tomorrow.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, but he was a big John Cena fan when he was like in grammar school and junior high. So he's really into that. Of course, mine was Junkyard Dog. I'm not kidding. I was a Junkyard fan.
Yeah, nothing wrong with that.
I was a huge Stone Cold fan back in the day.
Of course,
he might be the GOAT. I think Stone Cold's the GOAT. In my opinion.
I agree. I mean, no one could sell a storyline like Stone Cold for as brief as his career. I mean, he burned white hot for 4 years.
That's
anything he did went to turn to gold from 96 to 2001. Any storyline he was involved in, anything he did, he could get a pop. He could read the phone book and get a pop. I mean, and not just a small. You got a big pop.
Right. How far do you have to go? You have to go through the whole alphabet, or you have to go through like A through?
No, yeah, well, just the yellow pages. I mean,
yellow pages. Okay, I thought you had to go through like half the phone book.
No,
you guys are talking about the Major League Baseball. I don't see it starting on time either. I don't.
Neither do I.
It's going to be Rob Manfred's crazy if he thinks that's going to happen, but
he is crazy.
Well, he is crazy. So
yes, well, that's true.
He agrees with me.
We agree on a lot of things, Lewis.
Yeah.
Well, most people that I'm associated with don't agree with me. No joke.
Well,
and if you came onto the show more often, you'd know. Oh, you've been there.
I'm busy on Saturday. I wish I could. I would, but I'm busy. A lot of Saturday afternoons. It's just.
That's me too. I'm right about the time that Lewis goes on the air is when I get the busiest for those 2 hours.
Right.
And I forget to call. And if I get it,
I'm
like, oh, I got to call, and then I forget because again, that's when I'm the busiest on Saturdays between 5 and 7.
I mean, I get a little wacky, but we don't get as wacky as this.
No, this is our wacky thing.
This is Thursday.
Before it gets any worse, we were discussing with a few minutes ago with what would qualify. Where would bowling rank? Oh boy, this is gonna be good.
Oh, good lord!
Wow!
Bowling, but you bowling as what's his name? I'm not gonna be able to come. He did that King Baby special. The comedian. Oh, I can see his face, but I can't remember. What's that?
You mean Kingpin?
No, King Baby. He was a special, a comedy special. I cannot remember. Jim Gaffigan. As Jim Gaffigan said, bowling is what you do instead of suicide.
Oh.
We could kill ourselves, or we could go bowling. Let's go bowling.
Let's go. We'll run into the dude while we're there.
Yeah. The dude abides. The dude abides.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, some of the George Carlin routine in that, it's classifying what's a sport. And my favorite was when it's about hockey. Hockey is not a sport because they don't use balls; they use a puck. Why is a puck?
Well, gentlemen, we've reached the 2-hour mark. So, any final remarks they want to talk about? The freedom is yours.
We survived. That's the important thing for the show.
I'll drink to that.
First show, gentlemen, of 2021. So
double.
I know, right? Keep them coming.
Yeah. Well, I'll give you a score update if you want, because in the Turnpike battle, meaning New York, Philadelphia, New Jersey, Philadelphia, the Nets look like they're going to beat Philadelphia. There's about a minute and change to go, and they're up by 12.
Oh, so there you go. And the Philadelphia's the best team
right now. They're a little. Well, that's because of with where they start without your star players. Now always can be a problem without Durant. But I think the Nets can handle it right now. They won back on Tuesday, so this is another one for them. And I think once KD gets back, I think they're going to really get the ball rolling here.
I wouldn't disagree with that at all. I don't
expect them to make a run at the Eastern Conference title. I don't think they're going to catch first place, but I think they'll get a respectable 6th or 7th in the playoffs. But I just past the second round next year, maybe. But this is a transition year, and with all the changes, that takes about a year. So you don't have to quote me on that, but that's the way I look at it. That's a strange theory I have, but that's the way I look at it. That's my story. I'm sticking to it.
I think Brooklyn can reach up there and get the 3.
Wow. Something I know?
With KD, as good as KD looked in the first 4 games before he, got the thing.
Yeah.
I don't see why they can't get the 3. I mean, they looked really good tonight. I watched a little bit of the fourth quarter, and I don't see why they can't. I mean, they just beat Philly without KD. So I mean, I think the Nets are a very dangerous team. I don't know what they'll do in the playoffs, but I think they're a very dangerous regular season team.
All right, gentlemen. Well, I hope you do find time to call in, even if it's just for a half an hour. But I hope you can. At least it's Sunday. So
maybe next weekend. I'm definitely busy this weekend.
All
little girl had to have medical procedures, so I got to go and console her this weekend. So she's doing all right. She had to have a bum tooth that had to come out, but she's doing all right. So
how old is she?
She just turned 3 back in October. So
my youngest niece.
So we're gonna spend the weekend with her. So I will not be available this weekend. I'm trying to try to catch some of the football, but I don't know how much of the games I'm gonna watch. I'll definitely catch the highlights on Monday.
Take care.
Have a good one, Lewis.
Me too.
Gentlemen, all right. Well, again, I'll go through my
Max Kellerman signing off. Good night.
I'm gonna do my closing real quick, if you don't mind, Brad. I just have one more thing because we didn't really talk any NASCAR. The one thing that I wanted to hit on is Kyle Larson coming back. He's officially reinstated to as a NASCAR driver. Right now, he has no official sponsors. Expect KindredCars.com to be on the car for the first couple of weeks, probably the first 5 weeks, if not longer. I see him definitely. I think by the time we get to the spring Russell race, which I think he'll be the odds on with it being a dirt race for the first time since the 70s. The NASCAR's Cup Series is running on dirt. I think he'll be the odds on favorite to win that race. And I expect that race to be a one-off major sponsor. I can't tell you what brand or what company will be willing to would jump on the car, especially if he does well. He has a couple of top 5s, top 10s, wins a race maybe. I definitely think the 5 will have sponsors by the time we get to the spring Bristol race. That's all I got.
Well, thank you. Like I said, guys, thanks again. Thanks to Adam and Lewis. Thanks, guys, for making last year so good in the first show of the year. See, guys, this is what we do, man. We like to come in here. We have a lot of laughs. We like to say things, and that's what makes it so fun on Thursday nights. And,
a little silly.
Again, I had my first interview on my Monday show. I had former UF quarterback Shane Matthews come on, so that was kind of cool. Even though it was over the phone, it wasn't video, it was over the phone. Still, it was pretty cool. I got to talk to Michael Kelly earlier in the week, which is being that I've covered USF sports for the last 3 years. It was nice to talk to the
AD. That's really cool.
Interview, talk to him, and get the questions that I get asked. a lot of people outside of the program ask. But before I go, guys, I'll go through the sponsors real quick. Again, if you want any In the Zone sports talk radio gear, head over to squadlocker.com. Type in the Zone sports talk radio, guys. I know the holidays are over, but if you want to pick up some gear, it's that time.
Treat yourself. It's that time of the year.
Right. Exactly. It's the new year. I'm also, again, guys, sponsored by creatingzenspaces.com. It's the local choice in St. Petersburg, Florida, for house cleaning, organization, decluttering, and pet sitting. It's about finding the peace within you and a comfort to your life. And remember, guys, Zen Spaces begins with you. Be kind to yourself and one another. That should be a key moment, key phrase that everyone should be used. Be kind to yourself. Be kind to one another. We wouldn't have half the issues that we have in the world right now if that actually stood true. But again, I'm not going to get political because there was a big political thing that happened yesterday. I'm not bringing that on here because that's not what we talk about on this show. But anyway, guys,
right, come on.
Before I go, I want to thank all of the essential workers, hospital nurses, doctors, everyone that's an essential worker, including myself. We went through the pandemic last year. We were able to hold on to our jobs. And I pray for anyone that lost their job, lost their house, car, whatever, lost some loved one to the virus or whatever it might be. Prayers out to you. Hopefully 2021 is starting to get a little bit better for you. Hopefully by the time we get into the middle of the year, we'll be back to some normalcy. That would be great. I'm looking forward to that. If that's on the horizon, that's outstandingly awesome. And again, guys, I want to give a shout out to our military, men and women of our armed services. Thank you, both active, retired, and the ones who've left us. Thank you for your sacrifice. We wouldn't be able to do this show if it was not for what you guys do. The holidays just passed. It's got to be tough not to be able to spend time with your family, but your sacrifice keeps us free, and we get to walk the world free without having to worry about anybody attacking us and stuff like that. So thank you guys for what you do. And of course, the domestic soldiers, our police officers, firefighters, paramedics, thank you for keeping us safe nationwide. I know the cops have had a bad rap since last year, but not every cop is bad, guys. There are actually good police officers that actually do their job. There are bad apples, as we all know, and with every fan base, with every with every party,
walk of life.
You want to talk about it, walk of life. There's always the bad apples that always make everything else look so bad. But in the end, guys, if you use your common sense, you know that that's not the way that life is, and that's not the way that everybody acts. So, like I said, guys, thank you again. This has been the Walker Report, part of In the Zone Sports Radio. Thank you to my co-hosts Adam and Lewis. Thank you guys for coming on here as well every week. This was a very, very fun show to start off the new year. What a great start. Again, guys, next week, you will see this background will not be behind me next week. I'm going to fiddle around with the green screen over the weekend, and we'll be having a different background starting next week. So that'll be awesome. But again, guys, I love all the people that popped in here. Even if you were in here for a second, thank you for coming in here. That just helps us out because we're obviously doing something.
Another set of eyeballs.
If someone's we're doing it. So excellent thing, guys. So again, I'll be signing off. Thank you guys for coming on. I'll be back on my Monday show. Go listen to Lewis, guys. He has a show from 5 to 7. I forget what the show is called. He should have let him do that before he left.
Yeah.
But yeah, guys, I've called his show once before. It's a pretty good show. He has a lot of talks about the same stuff that we talk on here, but he goes into a little bit more detail. He's more basketball orientated, so he'll go more into the NBA. And I know he loves college basketball because he talks so brilliantly about college basketball, which I think the three of us all love college basketball over the NBA. Nothing against the NBA, guys. We're not picking on the NBA by any means of the imagination. But in the end, guys, everyone stay safe out there. Wear your mask. Follow your state guidelines or country guidelines. Maybe we have some people overseas watching. Whatever it is, we want to get through this, guys. And the way to get through this is to be smart. Don't be dumb. We gotta beat this. We're gonna beat it. That's what it is. We're resilient. We gotta keep fighting. We're gonna fight. We're gonna get through this. And like I said, I'll be on my Monday show, and then I'll be there Tuesday. I'll be back here with these two gentlemen on Thursday next week. We'll be talking. Of course, we talk about the national title game. That'll be done. The first round of the playoffs will be over, so we can talk again. And I don't know. Do you want me to have a script, buddy, or do you just want to just wing it? Because it seemed to go.
We can wing it, or you can find a couple of topics, maybe one story from each sport, and we'll just kind of riff on that.
I could do that if I don't think I'll be busy this week where I'll be able to do that. But if in case we do, I'll just we'll just go with whatever the sports world is.
The top story in each sport, and then kind of just riff on that.
Yep, we could do that. Well, guys, I'm gonna hop off here. Everyone, please have a good evening. We all love you guys. Thank you for coming in, and I'm going to say peace.